Hi ladies and gents. Well, today was supposed to be my critical thinking class recorded for the channel, but between roadworks to my left, screaming kids to my right, it's just too much noise, it's distracting me. I just can't find a moment to do it, at least with in a concentrated way that allows me to do it properly. So I'm going to hold off probably till the weekend when the construction next to my flat is kind of stopped, hopefully, and then I'll be able to resume it. So I'll be back with that hopefully tomorrow. In the meantime, I thought what I'd do, just to do something at least, is make a video about some eccentric differences between Britain and Spain. I just spent 3 weeks back home, actually, in my hometown. Had a great time, and I've done videos before about cultural differences between Britain and Spain and whatever, but these are more kind of, I hope, kind of humorous ones that I've noticed just from my last trip back. They're not so serious. They're not designed to criticize anybody. They're not designed to say one country's better than the other. It's just, some subtle differences which, if you've traveled between the two places, perhaps you've noticed as well. But it's just something that I pick up when I go back, because it'd been 18 months since I'd last been back. And just the little things that jump into your head when you're there. The first thing that I really noticed when I was back home was the wasps. Highly aggressive insects that we had in Cannock over the summer period. Now, these things were either on steroids or on crack, because I remember being a kid in the town and we had wasps that get stung maybe in the summer, but these things are intense killing machines. And you'd open up your front door every day and there'd be a battalion of them there waiting for you, just to, with the sole purpose of stinging you. Go and sit outside at a pub or sit outside at any point, you're going to have hundreds of them all around you. We went to Alton Towers one day, there were thousands of them flying around there. These things are crazy. And I just don't remember them ever being quite so bad. Spain, obviously there are insects, but they seem to be kind of chilled. Apart from the tiger mosquitoes, which are absolutely brutal at night, but they're kind of like silent assassins. They'll come and bite the hell out of you when you're sleeping. But yeah, the British wasps got some anger management issues, and wow, I hope they don't find their way south, put it that way. Second thing, the concept of personal space. Like, anybody who lives in a Mediterranean country or has visited a Mediterranean country, as many of you surely have, you'll notice this when you're visiting, whether it's Spain or Italy or whatever. A lot of the Mediterranean countries have a completely different concept of personal space than we do, say, in Northern Europe, if you want to put it that way. Examples of this, where would you find it? In so many different things, I guess. Like car parking, for one. You go to Britain, you've got a car park, somebody will park, the next person will come in, and they'll park at the other end of the car park, and somebody will park in the middle, somebody will then park in the middle between those two cars, and you'll never get them next to each other unless it's the last resort. Spain, you'll get that people will just fill up the car park. You'll park your car and immediately somebody will just park up on the right and then another person on the left. That is kind of like a taboo thing in Britain almost, it seems, and people will be like, why you got all the car park to park in? Why are you parking there? But I don't know, it just seems to be absolutely fine to do that here. It took me a little while to get used to that when I first came over here. Similarly, in the gym, like if you use a treadmill or a bike or any of the stationary equipment where you're there for a while running or cycling, whatever, people will come and they will start their workout directly next to you. You could have 6 bikes or 6 treadmills next to you in Britain, and people will come in and just go to the furthest one away because they don't want to be near you, man. Here in Spain, of course, they will just come, and you'll find yourself, you go in the middle of a line of treadmills and there'll be people on your left and right in seconds. Again, I don't know why that is, but it's just a weird thing. Again, it took me a while to get used to it. It's no big deal, not a problem, but it's just a big difference. And the last one, the supermarket queues. The British, of course, they love to maintain distance. In a queue, you'll find, you can stretch. If you're lined up in the supermarket queue, take a step forward, take a step backwards. And yeah, Spain, that doesn't happen. Like, if you take a step backwards in a supermarket queue, you'll probably like tread on the old lady behind you who will be pressed up against you. And it's a much more intimate experience. Again, that's probably the one that really took me a long while to get used to, because, when you're there putting your debit card and the next person is there just kind of looking at you, it can be a little bit intimidating at first for a Northern European, but yeah, you get used to it over time. On the subject of queuing, I noticed the propensity of British people to queue. We seem to feel absolutely comfortable queuing. If you put a bunch of British people scattered around a town centre or something, they will find something to queue for. They will look for a line. To be positioned in random situations doesn't seem to be something that's comfortable. And there is definitely a hierarchy, or there's definitely a protocol about queuing. Like, you do not jump the queue. You don't even look like you might do it, because there will be death. Horrible and painful if you disregard the etiquette of the queue. Spain, again, wow, it's kind of chaos. The queuing system seems to be stand where you want and then rush as soon as whatever you're waiting for, like a desk or a customer service assistant, becomes available. Everyone will kind of shuffle forward, and then there's a little bit of looking at each other, and then somebody will make a beeline for the front. Generally aggressive old ladies. And yeah, again, you better not violate that protocol, because they will umbrella you to death or whatever. So, and finally, something that is, well, it's not really a difference, I guess, but something that's more of an observation. I notice every time I go home that British food's decent. Especially since the emergence of gastropubs. The comments that I hear when I'm back here in Spain are just Britain's lovely, but you got that horrible food. And there is still that stereotype that people live off, fish and chips, curries, and they kind of blend it in with the American culture as well, that we eat burgers and hot dogs and stuff, which probably isn't so prevalent in the British culture. Well, maybe it's growing a little bit, but it's still not like the stereotypical food, that we don't cook with olive oil, that we don't cook with vegetable oil, everything's cooked in butter and lard. And yeah, I noticed that food is pretty good in the UK, man. We have some good stuff. Gastropubs have really revolutionized the eating experience. You can get a good variety of stuff. A lot of vegetarian options, if that's your thing. Gluten-free stuff seems to be appearing on the menus now. You've got different stuff all springing up all over the place. And I think there's actually a really good selection of good healthy food, in addition to the more stodgy stuff. Honestly, after 3 weeks, I'd eaten so many pub meals, because I kind of binge when I go home, because we don't really get the same food here. So I kind of binged on pub meals for a little while, and yeah, I kind of got sick of it. And it's good to come back here. Variety is the spice of life. But wow, British food, I'm gonna fight the corner for British food a little bit, because it's not halfway as bad as people looking from the outside think it is. It's actually really nice, and there's a great variety of Asian foods, American foods, British traditional foods, stuff from everywhere, French stuff as well, tons of stuff. So that's it. That's all I got for now. I'm going to try and get that class recorded tomorrow, or maybe this afternoon if things quieten down. You might have just heard the trucks honking at each other then. I do want to make some kind of routine where I can record the videos kind of regularly. Much will depend on the construction going on next door. Maybe weekends will be easier for me. So anyway, I hope this finds you well. I'll be pressing on with some work either this afternoon or tomorrow morning, and I'll get that class to you shortly. If not, I hope you enjoyed this one today. A couple of subtle differences. Please don't get offended, anybody. It's just for a bit of fun, and we'll be in touch again soon. Take it easy. Enjoy your Friday.